Good morning, creators, and welcome to another Uefn tutorial. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to create custom terrain materials in the Unreal Editor for your landscapes. First, you're going to open up your content drawer, right-click, and add material. We're going to name this one m_my_map, and we're going to open it up. Now, first off, we're going to change this to use material attributes. And then we're going to add a layer blend. And we can go ahead and name our first layer blend. Mine's going to be called grass_stone. Great. And we can connect the output. Make sure you have Unreal Engine downloaded as well, because we need to grab a material function from there. So I'm going to open up Unreal Engine. I'm in a material graph in Unreal Engine. I'm going to right click and search for slope mask. Going to copy that, and then we can close Unreal Engine. We're going to paste it into our editor and just leave it off to the side for now. Next, we're going to go into our content drawer under Fortnite. Going to go to textures, landscape, and select 3 of these. Like, they're in groups of 3, so make sure you grab the color, the normal, and this extra texture. We're going to line them up like this. And next we are going to create a set material attributes node. We're going to add some attributes to this. For my purposes, I'm going to use base color, normal, and roughness, as well as metallic if I want it. And essentially, you're going to right click on this to preview, and then connect your color node to base color. Our normals are going to be connected to our normal, so it adds more detail like this. If you want it to be not rough, you can use this, and it creates this kind of like icy texture. Otherwise, I recommend making this one so that it's rough, because rocks are obviously rough. And that'll be our first material. In addition, you want to include a landscape layer chords node. Connect this to your UVs. And this essentially is going to determine how it maps to your map. So example, the mapping scale, if you increase this, will increase the size at which it maps. So it's obviously getting larger. You see this? And if it's smaller, it's going to get smaller, like this. This can change the level of detail, but generally you want it to be pretty large, just so that it's not repetitive to the player. I'm going to set it to about that value. You can change the rotation as well, and the panning on both the U and the V. But in general, that's what I want. So next up, we are going to create another texture node. And this one, we're going to use this forest texture right here. Place it down. And so you got your color, you got your normals, and you got this extra one. Just to make things faster, I'm going to copy this and place it down. We're going to go ahead and preview this. And we're going to connect our color to our base color, our normals to our normals, and we can include a roughness node just to make sure that it's rough. Right now, of course, it's wet, so if you want to create like a rainy kind of look, that's a good way to do that. But in general, I want it to be rough, so we're going to make it rough. Then we are going to create a material blend. It's called blend material attributes. B is the top attribute and A is the bottom one. So, for example, this is on bottom. This is going to be B. This is going to be the top layer, and this is going to be the bottom layer of the stone. That's just how it is. It's flipped. Don't question it. Now, if we add this slope mask and then we preview this attribute, you'll see we have grass on top and stone on the end. And you see the sphere, same kind of deal. If you want to edit the slope mask, press 3 down, and you can use this for the tangent normal and the slope angle. The slope angle is going to determine where it is mapped to. So example, if you don't want it to be vertically mapped, you can just choose orientation by sliding. Basically, this is the X, this is the Y, and this is the Z. So if you want to tilt a certain way, that's it. That's the way you tilt it. But in general, we want it to be vertical. So we are going to use a standard one. And for tangent normal, it's a similar situation. You can create another one if you want, but for this, I'm just going to add it like that. For fall off power, it determines how much it blends. So for example, at 0, it does not blend at all. But if you increase it, you'll notice it blends a lot more and moves up a bit. So if you want to blend, that's how you do that. For cheap contrast, basically wherever it's at, you can increase the contrast. So you notice in there it was moving up a bit. If you turn up the cheap contrast all the way up, it'll create a flat space to see how far up it is. So if you click on this, you can move it up even more. And the cheap contrast will reduce that. It's just about finding a balance. Like that, for example. That's a pretty good balance. So I'm satisfied with that. Now this is your completed layer. So we're going to simply just attach that to our layer blend. And this can become a new layer for our terrain. If you want to create more layers, for example, if we want to create a sand layer, we're going to import our textures again. Do that. Copy this material node, like that. Color goes there, normals go there. I want this one to be rough, so plug that in and set as that. And we're going to copy this node, blend material attributes. This is of course the top, so it's going to be on B. And since we want the same cliff, we're just going to connect this down. Might have to move it up just so we can move it first, like that. Also remember to add your landscape chords to every single map you use. So this one, definitely add it. And this one, also add it. Connect it to your UVs. And you're good. Next, you're going to want to add your slope mask. Since we're going to use generally the same kind of slope mask, we can just copy this, paste it down here, or we can just draw it out from here into the alpha. We're going to create a new landscape layer, and this one is going to be called sandstone. And we're going to connect this to sandstone, and it should be in our material attribute now. Just to view, make sure it looks good. We're going to preview, and it looks great. So, if you want to ensure that the UV size can be changed to your liking, you can change the mapping scale here. But in general, it should be good to go. So you're going to save. And open this up. If you already have a landscape placed down, select the first landscape all the way to the last one by holding Shift. And then do that again because I messed up. And we're going to go into all, look for landscape material, and we're going to set it as our my map material. You'll see at first it's black. That is what you want at first. And you'll go into paint mode. And you'll notice there's a bunch of these layers from previously before. You're not going to be using these anymore because obviously they're gone. But you need to create layer info for these. So we're going to use either a weight blended layer or non-weight blended layer, and it's up to you. You can Google how that works. For these purposes, I'm just going to use a non-weight blended. Or actually, I'm going to use a weight blended. Weight blended's generally better. Yeah, weight blended's better. And create another weight blended. And once you've used those, you can simply select them and you can paint around. So if I want to use sandstone, for example, that's how that works. You'll notice the grass doesn't seem to be very green, and that's obviously a problem. So we're going to have to go in and see what the issue is. But the sand is looking really nice, a bit repetitive, so we might need to increase the UV size. And to do that, of course, we're going to open up our material. And this time I'm just going to queue it up here. Let's go into UV scale. And let's increase it to like 5. Same thing for the cliff. Let's increase it to 10. Just try it. Or something around. Just larger. Yeah, you'll see the wall looks a little bit better because it's larger. And the waves could probably use a little bit larger of a size, just because it's a bit unrealistic at this scale. I don't know how big this is going to be, but we'll see. That's actually pretty good. I'm satisfied with that. Yeah, actually the grass is supposed to look like this. This is the forest grass, so it's just naturally built this way. So that's alright. If you want to create another node, of course, all you have to do is do the same thing we did here. Of course, set material attributes, blend material attributes with the slope mask and the cliff, or you can always create a new cliff if you want, and you're going to create a new layer blend to add in there. So that's pretty much all it is. That's all it takes to create your custom terrain. Of course, if you want better terrain assets or textures, you can find those online on the Unreal Engine Marketplace, on Fab, etc. So if you don't like these textures, you can change them. But in general, that's how you layer, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any suggestions, please leave them below, and have an amazing day. Good luck creating. One last note I would like to add, which may be fun for some of y'all, is if you want to change the color of certain assets, you can easily press down M and click for multiply, and connect RGB to A, for example. Put that into base color, and then press 3 to get a concept 3 vector, and you can choose the color. For example, if you want a pink, and we're going to input that into B. If we preview, you'll see it's pink. And we're going to apply that just to see how it looks. And you'll see it has a pink flavor to it. Look how nice that looks. So even if you have a texture, you can always recolor it to create different kinds of biomes.